The euro gained ground against the Canadian dollar on Tuesday, following the release of German retail sales data that came in stronger than market forecasts. The pair, commonly traded as Euro-CAD, edged higher as investors reassessed the relative strength of the Eurozone economy against its Canadian counterpart. German retail sales rose by 1.2% month-on-month in January, surpassing the consensus estimate of 0.5%. This indicates that consumer spending in Europe's largest economy is holding up better than many analysts had anticipated, despite persistent inflation and tighter monetary conditions. The annual increase of 2.1% also exceeded the 1.8% forecast, offering a modest boost to the euro, which had been under pressure in recent weeks amid uncertainty over the European Central Bank's next policy moves. The European Central Bank has signaled that further rate hikes may be necessary to bring inflation back to target, but the pace of tightening remains a key variable for currency markets. Following the release, EUR-CAD rose to around 1.465, up from the previous session's close, near 1.46. This movement reflects a combination of euro strength and a slightly softer Canadian dollar, which has been weighed down by. Most people arrive after the move is obvious and the easy upside is gone. We focus on serious crypto education and high-quality signals before the crowd rushes in, so you can understand the setup earlier and move sooner. If you want that edge, visit the link below now. Lower crude oil prices. Canada's economy is heavily tied to energy exports, and a decline in oil prices tends to reduce demand for the loonie. Traders are now watching for further Eurozone data this week, including industrial production figures and the ECB's monetary policy meeting minutes, which could provide additional clues. The strength in the euro has come at a time when global markets are closely monitoring central bank policies and economic data for signs of inflationary pressure and potential rate adjustments. The German retail sales report is a key indicator of domestic economic health and can influence investor confidence in the Eurozone's ability to sustain growth amid rising interest rates. The Canadian dollar's weakness is largely attributed to the energy sector's sensitivity to oil prices, which are currently facing downward pressure from shifting demand patterns and geopolitical factors. This dynamic is important because the euro and Canadian dollar are both sensitive to macroeconomic developments and central bank communication. The euro's recent performance suggests that investors are beginning to factor in the possibility of a more resilient Eurozone economy, which could support the currency's position against other major currencies, including the Canadian dollar. However, the euro's ability to maintain this strength will depend on the broader economic and policy landscape. The European Central Bank's stance on inflation and growth will be a key factor, as will the performance of other major currencies like the US dollar and the British pound. Traders will be closely watching upcoming data releases and central bank statements for further guidance. The Canadian dollar's performance will also be influenced by developments in the energy market and global demand for oil. A sustained decline in oil prices could further weaken the loonie. Most people arrive after the move is obvious and the easy upside is gone. We focus on serious crypto education and high-quality signals before the crowd rushes in, so you can understand the setup earlier and move sooner. If you want that edge, visit the link below now. While a rebound could provide some support, the EUR-CAD pair is therefore a useful barometer for assessing the relative economic and policy environments of the Eurozone and Canada. Investors should also be aware that currency movements can be volatile in response to unexpected economic data and central bank decisions. The next key signal will likely come from the ECB's monetary policy, meeting minutes, and any updated guidance on inflation and rate hikes. These developments could provide further clarity on the future direction of the euro and its performance against the Canadian dollar and other currencies.